When we're handling pigs, it's down to looking at three things. It's the pig behaviour and what the pigs are doing, it's down to the people and what the people are doing, and it's down to how we set up and organise facilities. What we're looking at is their behaviour and what influences their behaviour. So one of the key things to think about is the fact that in pig farming, we work with a lot of instinctive behaviours in pigs. So if pigs are hungry, they'll eat. If they are thirsty, they'll drink. If they're giving birth, hopefully they will suckle their piglets. When it comes to handling and why handling can be difficult is because handling, being taken by another species, which is us, who could be seen as a predator, the instinctive response of the animal is to fight, flight, or what we call freeze, which is not move at all. So if we have to be very, very careful not to trigger those instinctive responses when we move and handle pigs, which means that we've got to use other methods, things like learning and understanding their senses to get them to go where we want them to go. But remember, handling, if you push the pigs onto the instinctive behaviours, it is fight, flight or freeze. You can't handle pigs without also having some people. And one of the things is that pigs might see the person as somebody nice, or they might see the person as a potential predator. So ultimately, the pig behaviour is influenced by the people, or can be to a large extent. So when you look at your pigs and they're moving, are they moving nicely? So good movement, good behaviour from pigs looks like pigs walking at a walking pace in the same direction all together. Bad behaviour in pigs when it comes to moving is when things stop, turn, bunch, try to escape. And if you see that sort of behaviour, then what's causing it? So one of the things could be actually the people are causing that behaviour. So in other words, they might be putting too much pressure on the pigs that's causing them to start to trigger that fight, flight or freeze response. So the behaviour of the people influences the behaviour of the pigs. So good pig handlers have to be very self-aware about what they're doing and how the pig is going to respond. When we look at the facilities, that's the hardware. Anytime you're moving pigs from one place to another, onto the lorry for example, you'll be using some concrete panels or hurdles or something to get the pigs contained to move them. So we're going to pick out just 4 things in terms of trying to get these facilities easier to get the pigs to move. The first one is the floor. Animals have a natural fear of falling like we do. So if the floor surface is bad or slippy or unstable, they tend to automatically try and slow down. So get the flooring surface so that the pigs are comfortable on it, for number one. And also make sure that you, as far as possible, try and keep the floor surface consistent. Because the same as us, if we're moving from one type of floor, then onto something else, then we have to reassess that floor surface all over again. And that's just going to slow movement. Another thing to look at then is what we call solid sides. Because of the vision of pigs, it is a wide panoramic vision. They can pick up movement to the side, particularly those pigs that have got a more ear up position, which means that if they can see things that are going on all around them. So if they see a distraction, they are going to more focus on that rather than where you want them to go. So put in some solid sides and it tells the pigs, this is where I want you to go. And so it's much, much easier to move them. And they're going to be less spooked about things that are going on around them. The next thing to look at is turns. There's plenty of research work to show that every time you put a turn in a handling facility, that the pigs are going to slow. And that's simply because we're on 4 legs and it takes us some space and time to turn us around a corner. So the more you can make the route direct with less turns in it, the easier it's going to be to get those pigs to move. And then the final one is light. And it's as simple as whenever there's a sharp contrast of light, either dark to light, light to dark, the pigs have to readjust their sight. Ideally, they're easier going from a dark place to a light place, provided it's not too bright. Trying to move pigs into bright sunlight can sometimes be difficult, but likewise trying to move pigs from a very light area to a dark area. The ideal day for handling any pigs is when it's nice and dull and there's no sharp contrast. Sometimes you can do nothing about the weather, but remember where you get these sharp contrasts is you're going to have to slow the movement and take a little bit of the pressure off. Looking at these things from the pig's point of view, so that you actually make the whole process easier for them. It's like giving something clear directions through an airport. So if it's clear for the pigs for where you want them to go, then it's going to be easier to move them.